Even on my worst days, baby, I know my worth, baby.
Hello, everyone. I am Kay Lamour, singer, songwriter, and author of Your Path to Songwriting Success, 7 Steps to Becoming a Confident Songwriter. And today I have a very special guest. I am super, super excited, Tebby Burrows. Now,
Hi.
Tebby is an amazing singer-songwriter who won on an episode. Was it the first episode?
Yeah, it was the first episode.
He won on the first episode of NBC's Songland. And John Legend was the celebrity artist who ended up taking that song. And it was amazing.
Thank you.
So welcome, and thank you so much for taking out the time to talk with me and to bring information to aspiring songwriters. I really appreciate it. And to start, I just wanted to ask you, so from what I understand, you were born in Miami and you grew up in the Bahamas, right? So how was that? What was that like being in the Bahamas? Did you go to like the carnivals and all that kind of stuff?
So, no. I mean,
no.
so Carnival, actually, random fact, Carnival we just had our first couple carnivals over the last few years. We were late to the party in terms of Carnival. So when I was growing up, it wasn't there.
Okay. Because my parents are from Trinidad and Tobago, and I mean, that's like the mecca of Carnival.
Can I tell you that the one thing, when COVID started, I was just like, I'm not going to be able to go to Carnival because I was supposed to go with my cousin.
Oh my gosh.
For the first time. So I'm kind of
my goodness. A lot of people were planning on going this year. It's so crazy. But hopefully next year. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So I know that you also lived in New York City, where I'm from.
Oh, yeah.
There. Did you enjoy like the music scene?
So, you know what's funny is I moved to New York straight out of college because I had an internship. I studied communications and I had a marketing internship at a startup there. So I moved to New York and was fully in the corporate world and really didn't have time to, appreciate the music and all of that. I did. I mean, I was playing a lot of my guitar and writing in my spare time. And then, but other than that, I really didn't get to, but I love New York City. When you move out of anywhere, like a small town or wherever, and you go to New York, fresh out of college, there's just like this excitement and energy, and you feel like the world is your oyster and it's either sink or swim.
Yes, I could totally imagine. I've been in corporate America myself for many, many years. And it's more recently that I actually quit my corporate job to pursue my dream of songwriting. I feel free and I feel alive.
I know. It's the strangest feeling, right? We always have that moment where it's like, okay, I can't
do it anymore. Yes.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, totally. So I know that Songland came up, and when I saw that it was happening, I was like, finally, something for songwriters. I mean, there was always The Voice and American Idol, but Songland focused on the people behind those amazing songs. And I just thought it was incredible. So can you tell people like what your experience was on Songland? Or actually, let me back up for a second. Let me tell people, in case they don't know, Songland is an NBC show, and the people on it, the judges and the amazing singer-songwriters who helped coach the contestants were Esther Dean, my best friend in my head, Tedder, and Shane McAnally, right? And so it would be 3 contestants that they would pick to be coached by these amazing songwriters. And at the end, they would go from their original song and present a tweaked masterpiece to a celebrity. And the celebrity would pick one person to go ahead and let them do that song. So Tebby won her episode, and John Legend is the one who picked her song and just please tell us how that was, because I was like looking at it and I had tears. Like, oh my gosh.
That's so awesome. No, I mean, Songland was an amazing experience. I've always been a songwriter, but I wasn't really aware of, this. I was a songwriter for me. And
Right.
then, learning about songwriting for other people was this really cool experience. And then what's funny is I had auditioned for The Voice. I had auditioned for America's Got Talent, all of those things. And always, made it to an interview round, but never gotten on. But I had this feeling years ago that I would be on a show. And so every time I would like not make it on, I was just like, what? But you keep going. And
Right.
then when Songland came about, I just was like, well, what's one more application?
Yes.
I've already done all of the others. And then when I got the call, it was like, what? And I had been writing for a few solid months in Miami, with Cool and Dre. And that was actually I think that was the first song that I wrote while I was there. Okay. And so that was the song. For some reason, I'm like, they'd asked us to submit a couple of songs, but I just submitted that one song. I was like, this is the song. If I don't get picked, then, I'll apply next year or whatever. Right. And then they picked it. And then obviously flying out to LA and shooting it was amazing. I got to meet so many cool songwriters and hear their stories. We spent a lot of time in the back, in the trailer, talking and getting to know, how everyone else came to be in this place at this time.
Oh my gosh. That must have been like a whirlwind.
Yes, it was. It was 2 weeks of fun and music and what.
How was it working with Esther and Shane and Ryan? How was it? And John Legend, like, how are they?
Everyone was super sweet and kind. And I think because this was the baby, right? Like, all of the executive producers had this, vision and dream of bringing this show to television. And when it finally got aired, I think there was such like an attention to detail and making it this, special moment.
Yes.
So everyone like super hands-on, Ryan, Shane, Esther, everyone. John was super sweet. He is who everyone would like think that
I'm imagining that he is
kind and like,
yes.
Oh my
God.
Yeah,
so what was that moment like when you actually won? What were you feeling? What were you thinking?
I think I was just like, what? I was a little confused. They had this terrible photo of me with my mouth open, like in shock. And I was like, guys, what? But I
saw that picture. But I remember that moment though. It was so brief and they caught it.
They did. I'm so angry about it. But I was really in shock. I mean, I didn't have any expectations like at all. So when it happened, I was just grateful, in those moments when you decide, like you tell yourself when you start that there's no expectations, what's meant to happen, just be in the moment. So that's literally what I was telling myself over and over again throughout the entire show. So when they said it, I kind of got snapped out. Right. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Wow. So how did your life change after that?
So I mean, we shot in January, February. We shot in February and March, I think. And then after I had won, we weren't airing it until May, right? So I went back to Miami, and I think I really just had some time to reflect. I was working in corporate at a marketing firm, and I was like, all right, if there's ever a time that I need to move to LA to be in position, right? Like you hear a lot, sometimes you got to get in position. Yeah. And I felt like now was the time and the momentum for me. So I just kind of made preparations and, convinced my job to let me work remotely.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So it worked out.
Yeah. I moved to LA the week of the premiere.
Okay.
So I touched down. I told my best friends, I'm like, hey, I'm coming to sleep on your couch.
Oh my goodness.
And they had been trying Yeah, they had been trying to get me to LA for like years, maybe like 3 or 4 or 5. So I was like, I'm coming, and I came, and you know, it was a whirlwind. I was able to just meet with a lot of publishing companies, get my feet wet in terms of doing sessions with other writers and other producers. So it was just a steady like flow of getting plugged in here.
Sounds amazing. I wanted to ask you, like, what's your background in music? How did you start? Did you start as a little child, like a lot of people, or did you start a little older?
Yeah, so I've always loved like performing and theater and dance. You know, I was doing theater at my church and dance, and what's funny is actually I was writing poetry, and then
Okay.
I think around like 12, I asked my mom to get a guitar. I was like, I want to do guitar lessons. I think it's actually Taylor Swift, like this is when she had just come out.
Mhm.
And all of her, she was playing her guitar, and I was like, I want to play the guitar. And so my mom got me a guitar and got me into guitar lessons, and that's kind of how I started writing
Wow, that's
music.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
12 years old, middle school. Yes, that's the time.
Yeah.
That's around the time I started writing too, but I was just playing around. I remember I was like writing rap songs with my cousin, and
Awesome.
it was just for fun. And then eventually, as an adult, actually, I said, wait a minute, I could actually write songs.
Mm-hmm. Had that aha moment. You're like, oh wait, can I do this for real?
Yeah, right? Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So, you released an EP last year, right?
I did.
Called
Mm-hmm.
Time and Space.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite song off of there, or do you just love them all? Is there one in particular that is like your real baby to your heart?
Ooh. You know what? There.
It's a tough question, huh?
So there's probably 2 that I like poured into. I mean, I poured into all of them, but I think I Know My Worth and Tell Me
Yes.
were the 2 that really, you know, and then Space and Time, which was the first song that I wrote for it, was very much so, it happened so organically. I didn't even write anything down. It happened. I was at a session for another artist, and we were at the end, and the producer and I, it was a week of like sessions. So we gotten cool. And at the end, he just showed me a couple of his beats, and I was like, oh, I like this one. And we were just in the studio. So I just freestyling. Yeah. And then that's that. So that was a nice
That's
moment.
so cool. I love when that happens, when you don't even have to really think and just let it
Yeah.
flow. Those are like some of the best songs ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to say, my favorite is I Know My Worth.
Thank you.
That one is really special because, I mean, it reminds you to not let nobody take you for idiot, right?
A word.
Don't let anybody take you for a fool.
A word.
If you don't mind, I would love for you to sing like the verse into the chorus. Would you do that?
I would love to. Okay. Gosh, I haven't like sung this in.
You remember the lyrics?
Wait. I know my words, babe. I have Tell Me in my head right now.
How do I sing that one?
Okay. Tell me what you say now, 'cause I don't want to play around. On a different wave, if we ain't on the same page, I want to stay around, 'cause I am on a new level. We're not going back to the old pages. We can't go back to the old stages. That is I Know My Worth. That is No Worth. They both start with Tell Me, which is why.
That's so funny. But I love that song. Absolutely. So what I've noticed is your IG page, your Instagram page is filled with like a lot of wisdom and messages about, you know, us as humans evolving and growing and healing. Do you think that those types of messages maybe reflect your mission in life, or even as a songwriter? Like, what do you think, at least at this point, what do you think your mission might be?
Yeah, I think that is such a great question, because a lot of us can get like tripped up on the nuances of things, like, oh, am I supposed to be a singer or a songwriter? Am I supposed to be a, you know, a lawyer, or, you know,
Yeah.
without really like peeling back the layer and saying like, what's my purpose? What's my mission? What's like the thing that is not locked into a specific career?
Right.
And then like, once you know that, because as you know, careers take so many different turns and they're never how you expect them to be. And one minute you're doing this thing, the next minute, you know, there's seasons,
Yeah.
but your mission and your purpose should stay the same. And so I definitely think that, that's one of my main missions in life, is to really kind of help people to like see how they can open themselves up to newer levels, right? I think that everyone exists on like different levels in life in terms of spiritually and emotionally and mentally. And I think that you get to experience life in its fullest when you are elevated. And that means focusing on healing the things that you have to heal. We all have wounds, we all have trauma, we all go through experiences, but a lot of us never learn how to heal ourselves from those. So those are the things that end up weighing us down and, you know, end up holding us back if we don't address them, right? And then there's the need to have courage, you know, to pursue the things we want to. But that again takes knowing yourself and building confidence and all of that stuff. So much of that, it has nothing to do with the physical or the career. Nothing. It has to do with us. And if you get you in alignment and right, so much flows from that.
Exactly. I love that. Oh my gosh. We're like from the same tribe, girl.
Yeah, I love that.
So I have some random questions for you.
Yes.
So what's your favorite color?
Depends on the day, but I like to say crimson.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
What's your favorite food?
Ice cream.
Yes. What's your favorite flavor ice cream?
Cookies and cream and or half baked. Anything with brownies or like cookies.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I like anything with chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite place to be?
Ooh. I like to be anywhere in nature. I love, especially by the water specifically. Like I'm from the islands, but I love it. Like sit me by on a cliff, on a mountain, overlooking the ocean.
Yeah, cliff and mountain. I remember in that video for I Know My Worth, you were like at the edge of a cliff or something. And I was like, is that real? Because I would faint and I would fall off the cliff.
Can I tell you that everyone was like, I thought that was CGI. No. My director was like, okay, so hear me out. I want you to walk to the edge of this. I'm like, what? And it was literally, I mean, like if I fell, there would be no more me. Like it's one of those things that you do that you know that if your mom was there, she would be like, have you lost your mind?
Yeah.
Like he was like the shot. He's like the drone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, do it for the shot.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I could see the road and like it was a moment.
Were you afraid or are you like one of those adventurous people?
I'm very adventurous, but I'm also don't love heights. So it's a weird combination. I think I was so focused on getting the shot that I was just like, all right, here we go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I'm afraid of heights. I'm claustrophobic. Like I would just die.
Yeah. I tried to talk him out of it. Because there was another rock that was
lower.
That was lower. Well, no, it wasn't lower, but it was a shorter, like because there was other mountain under it. Like if I fell, I would have fallen on the ground and not like
probably wouldn't die. Right.
Right. And he was like, that's not gonna do it. And I was like, okay.
Oh my goodness. But that was a good shot. That was a good shot.
No shot. Would do it again.
Oh my gosh. So next, what is your favorite song and not your own?
Oh, what's my favorite song? You know what? I love
It's on the day.
variety of music, but today,
Mhm.
it would be Simply Beautiful.
Okay.
I think it's by Al Green, I want to say.
How does it go? Because I don't know which song you're talking about, but
Simply Beautiful. Like it's like this.
I gotta look it up because I can't.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the link because it's just this. It's very stripped down.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of those songs that he probably, like we talked about going in the studio and just jamming out. That's how it sounds.
Okay.
And my friend and I joked that like it's one of those songs that even if it's 2054 and like there's some astronauts that, you know, the earth is long gone or whatever, they would still be like jamming to a timeless song.
Classic. Nice. Okay, I have to look that up. It sounds familiar, but I'm just not remembering it right now.
Yeah. So good.
So last question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last one for these random questions.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you dream of collaborating with in music?
Ooh, so many. Right now, probably my top would be Alicia Keys. Would love to write for her. Mm-hmm. Write with her. She writes. And Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
And Justin Timberlake. Oof.
That last song he put out, I love it. I forgot how it goes, but I love it.
Which this year, he put out something recently, I think.
Yeah. It's something about holy. The way you hold me is holy or something like that.
Oh no, not Justin Bieber, but also Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. Oh my gosh. You said Timberlake.
Timberlake. But also Justin Bieber.
That Justin Bieber song though.
Yes, the way you hold me, hold me, hold me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, next, I think this is the last question I have for you. No, second to last.
Okay.
Any final words or tips that you would give to an aspiring songwriter or someone who may be afraid to take that next step into pursuing their dream?
Oh, okay. I think that I would say that you have to be courageous. You know, nothing good in life comes without courage. And there was a quote that I read. I think it was, I can't remember who it was from, but it says courage over confidence.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be confident all the time. You just have to have the courage to do it anyways.
Exactly.
And that's writing every day. If that's, you know, putting out a song that you don't think is good. At the end of the day, like, what you do is going to impact the people it needs to. And, you know, don't worry about everyone liking it. Somebody's going to like it. So be true to who you are.
I feel like somebody else likes it.
Exactly. And I think especially young people, it's harder. I say young people, I'm like, I'm old now. It's harder because even me, you know, you're like, I need to do, I should, the shoulds. Don't get caught up with the shoulds because the shoulds will kill you. You don't need to attempt to be somebody else or to fit into the mold. You just have to be you and express yourself fully. Have the courage to express yourself fully and openly. And then, you know, I think the right doors will open for you. And I think to trust, you know, Paulo Coelho, who's one of my favorite authors, said the universe is always conspiring in your favor. Yeah. Like, you have to believe that God wants you to succeed at whatever it is, you know, you're doing. And that there's an ultimate plan. And if you have that coupled with the courage to take steps, even if they're baby steps, consistently, then you'll be fine. It'll work out. Even if it doesn't work out the way that you think it will, it's going to work. Like, I had to keep trying, and we all had to keep trying for years, right? It's like, oh, I think that I'm supposed to be on this show. It didn't work. I have to have the courage to try again. I have to have the courage to try again and again and again.
Exactly.
And also to enjoy the process. People, I hear a lot of things about people saying, you know, if I don't make it, or if I don't, you know, then suddenly that's not what life is about. Life is about expressing yourself for the sheer joy of expressing yourself. Birds sing because that's who they are, not because they want an audience.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's applied to everything. Do the things that you love and that you're good at, and do them well because
you are. Yeah.
You are.
You happen to know about law of attraction, because you're talking a lot of law of attraction stuff right now.
Girl.
Hold up.
Yeah, I am like, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Amazing. I'm like a law of attraction fanatic. So
Abraham Hicks, by Katie, like catch me like on all of the
oh my goodness.
You have to, otherwise you just get like so bogged down.
You become a victim and you're not powerful. Yeah.
You don't realize how we are literally so powerful. So
exactly. That's amazing. Thank you. So how can people find you, like follow you on Instagram? Do you have a website? Where can they get your music and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, so they can get my music everywhere. That's, Tidal, Spotify, iTunes, the whole gamut. And then I'm Tebby's World on Instagram. That's usually where I am. I live there. I'm trying out Clubhouse. Okay. I'm trying.
You know what? I don't even know anything about it. I've seen people say, "Oh, I'm on Clubhouse," and I'm like, "What are they talking about?"
No, it's interesting.
Kind of like a social media platform?
It is, but it's kind of like this, but live. So imagine you having these conversations with other songwriters and artists that you choose, like your guests, and then other people are listening. They can ask questions live. It's a whole thing. It's interesting.
Yeah, I gotta look into it.
Yeah, especially if you're doing this. I'm like already an advocate.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I definitely have to look into it because it sounds very interesting. And it sounds like it's the wave of the future. I don't know.
It's the wave. It's the wave.
Yes. So thank you so much. You have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and give all these gems to the people listening and watching. I really appreciate it. And for all of you out there who are aspiring songwriters and you're ready to write that song that's in your heart, please reach out to me, DM me, send me a message. I am here to coach you and help you bring that song out into the world. Just go to my website, www.kaylamour.com. That's KAYLAMOUR.com. And I will help you get that song out. Once again, thank you, Tebby.
Such a pleasure.
I am on a new level. We can go back to the old stages. We can keep rereading old pages.